epicenter, or do they do an epicenter refinery split, which is again something we talked about. I believe it was game number 2 about some of the loot and some of the focus for Luminosity, and historically they went for a 2-1 split, 1 epicenter, 2 refinery, but they've avoided that.
I think epicenter is just really safe for them. No one really challenges. You can get good loot, but it looks like there's an indication to actually go for it now. The priority could be there. Train has ended there, and so as long as they don't get contested, they might be able to walk away with 2, 3 purple armors.
That's a big win here. Like, if you thought that Luminosity was already starting off the games pretty well, pretty dominant, the fact that they're getting a double loot the way they are and the blue armor drop just to make sure the team gets it. Clever little play there. But this is a really good kickoff here for game number 4.
Did Exens find 2 gold armors? Because it looked like he took one off for a second. And all indications, if he's over at Train, he dropped one off of Train.
Yeah.
So there might be 2 gold armors for them. Now, as we swap over to Melanie's POV, we do see they are a Thermal team. And Thermal, it takes a while to loot. Thermal's massive.
Yeah. Outside of the initial cylinder, right? Like getting through that is okay, but there are so many side buildings like this, for instance, or what is that kind of new double decker that sits next to those silos more often than not. They are very, very well spread out, as we've already pointed out, and because of that, it is not easy to get your stuff and then go and feel like you've gotten everything out of Thermal. That being said, it does have a lot of loot because of that at the same time, to where usually you can feel at least reasonably comfortable with the loadout here. Still something to be desired, but we do have at least a Prowler with the select fire, just the armor department here. A little bit struggling there.
I take that. He's got a purple mag on it, 35 bullets there, even got the beacon, and so they can take their time. They might play edge of zone. We saw them do that, I believe, in game number 2 when we had the sorting facility ending. And so they might just be one of those teams that, you know, slowly move it forward, and they are afforded that. There shouldn't be anyone to their back, so they can continue to just go in with the zone without having to worry about running into too many people.
Lost here sitting on the outskirts as well. Getting a little bit of these side buildings, these back buildings. Seems like everything on Thermal, because Thermal has not only the main area, but I think what I call like this, the back buildings, and then even side buildings that a lot of people kind of focus on and prioritize on whenever rotating around it. And they were sitting on the backside there, but...
Yeah, with the Roxy's team, looks like, yeah, their focus is to try and rotate north, but we saw some tracers coming across there, so someone might be in their way, which is why we're seeing Roxy play very slow right now. He's waiting for the rest of his team to push up before he tries to go for that beacon. He doesn't feel like it's safe at all, and so that's probably the right call, but his team needs to move so they can try and get this right now, or at least get the position over it.
Folks, we will try to show as many of the streamers that are competing in the event today as we can, but if your favorite streamer isn't the one we're watching right now, you can follow them yourselves. They're streaming live on Twitch. Every competitor live on Twitch. Use the Twitch Rivals extension over on the side. It'll also show you the scoreboard and how many points they've currently earned.
Oh no, Yelena really low, was cracked, gonna be able to pop this bat for now. It looks like the team might have just stopped pursuing them, but that also means that they're not gonna be able to get this beacon that Araxi had his eyes on, and so now they're just gonna be able to hold up here. And this building's okay. I just feel like it's a little bit too much. It's too large. There are too many points of entry. You see right there on this edge alone, you've got the stairs and you got 2 doors, and then you have to worry about that 4th kind of hallway, or the 2nd hallway there.
Yeah, I would say, you know, this building I think is the most extreme case of it, but everything from Kings Canyon over to World's Edge really shifted on how you can approach buildings, right? They're very isolatory in the fact that you can only own a corridor of that building, and I feel like that's showcased very well with that point there on top of that one. But they do scout somebody moving over from Lava City towards the outskirts building, may make a transition over to them, but with it only being 3 minutes remaining here on round number 1, they are on the outskirts, but I don't think they're going to force that team to move at a hasty pace.
We haven't had a clear view of the map quite yet.
Yeah, so if it's very northern, it could be problematic here for both teams even. Judging by Araxi's lack of going anywhere, I feel like they're pretty close, right? I just on the southern end.
I think the ring is here on the southern end, just because when we're over at Melanie's team, who are also on a pretty southern spot there at Thermal, the ring indicator told them to go directly east.
Okay.
So
Could be.
It's hard to tell. Someone just press M, please.
Yeah, maybe it's Dome. Who knows? Dome circles have become, or for a short period of time, at least on the last patch, a little bit more popular as time went on.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they don't have a Gibraltar, so they don't feel safe trying to take this beacon right now. I mean, what you can do is just try and body block with your teammates, right? You all three go up there, take the damage or whatever, and then just bail as the Pathfinder's going for it.
Les navient toujours du côté gauche, jusqu'à ce qu'ils soient du côté droit. Hein.
Oh no, on the kill feed, Pengu's gone down first again. Now, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. Is that the G2 Pengu from Rainbow Six Siege?
It is.
He's got Siege in his name, so okay,
it is
there
the
we
same
go, there
guy,
we go.
for sure.
It's so funny, because when I think of Rainbow Six Siege, I think of one of the most slow, calculated shooters that exist in modern day. And he's the first dude to be like, time's up, let's do this, right? Like, he is in their face right now.
On board with K-Swinny and Psychop and Emmy as they're trying to make their rotation in, but the zone is going to reach them very shortly. They have a team in front of them right now. They might go for a push with that Pathfinder.
Yeah, that's a very bold zip to try and make happen. And honestly, this rotation out in the open train tracks is not very good because if you lose this fight, you have to jump off, which gives your opponent the high ground. So what I'm trying to argue is a lot of confidence displayed here, at least so far on the approach to the skirmish.
Yeah, it looks like they were able to get Melanie's team. Might have just been her, as now they're going to continue pursuit, possibly. I think at this point, though, you just kind of focus on making sure you get in, and you give yourself time to get in instead of going after these points. Again, surviving into the late game is so much more important here. Now, there is someone to their back, and so they're going to turn around for now, but we don't see anything on Emmy's screen quite yet. There's a Gibraltar ultimate coming in, and she's not able to get down to ultimate here. Took some damage. But she'll be safe for now. Taking a lot of damage trying to commit to this. And now she's down to white health. Has to go for some heals. Gonna be able to get one sell off, but now she needs to just get out of dodge. And it looks like, yeah, Case
She's got to heal.
Down low, going after someone. He's got the medkit, has plenty of time to do this, but doing it out in the open, this is so dangerous. I'm surprised she's not getting punished off of this. Case is actually gonna go down to the ring.
Yeah, it goes down to the ring after he grapples up. The targets are down below. I was talking about that low ground fear, but the opponents actually gave it over to them. Phoenix Kid is going to go off here now for K-Swinny, and he's going to be just fine.
They want to recommit to this possibly, or just at least set up the trap so they can't follow them here. But I don't know what their economy looks like. I hope they have plenty of syringes and medkits. There was one extra on Psychop there. They're hard committing onto these points.
Yeah, this is a very risky fight, even if they win it. The odds of them walking away, especially with that 47 there. It's going to be Shiv's roster here down below. Takes the portal. Where's it lead? Out. Good call here. Understanding that the second they get a crack, that they're going to back out. And in that window, they need to make the rotation before they worry about that team. And I think highlights why we were so, questioning whether or not that advance from the high ground team was, in fact, the smoothest and smartest play.
This is not good. They lost Cyanide. He will go down. There's a team up top. And that's why I was thinking you just abandon that push. You just try and make your way in because there are going to be gatekeepers, especially over here at Harvester. They're able to survive as two for now, but they committed so much into that. And now both teams are on the back foot. Take a look. He's got a wingman with 43 shots left, and he gets taken out before he's able to actually get off that Phoenix Kid.
Shiv there. I want to sit here and criticize. I think he was in a lose-lose scenario no matter what, but definitely peaking while having that Phoenix Kid showing while he's trying to finish it off. High risk there that was very well punished by whoever owned the Harvester, merely harvesting points now as they're sitting pretty with that 3 there from that group, and they've got another one. No surprise here. Once you watch Shiv's team make that transition in, quickly K-Swinny and the friends have to make their way too. See if they end up sharing the same fate though, Jamerson.
We also saw on the kill feed, though, it looks like there was a team fight and a third party's coming in on Zanya's. If we can go ahead and swap over to their perspective, that would be awesome to see. But they were able to take the fight up against Crip's team, and now they're able to take out Winghaven, so they're able to thwart off a third party. I don't know if they were able to get the res onto, I believe Alexi might have gone down there. We are on board instead with Roxy here, as they're still controlling this, and they were finally able to get that beacon, and it looks like, yeah, this is one of the stronger positions to hold, especially over here at Lava City, I would say. Controlling this choke point here, but controlling this overall building if you can, if you have the ability to do so, can get you so many points.
Yeah, but that was a really poor trade opener there for that first attempt at defending the team with the transition out from the geyser itself. Or Axe now trying with his wingman. maybe going to share a better fate there than we already saw with Wise Thug. Wise Thug does have the scout, though, so in theory, this is about the ideal circumstance with the new assault rifle changes, that if the scout is going to thrive, it should be in this moment.
Now, what I'd like to see is after this ring closes, them try to prioritize rotating over to that building, the quad-story building to their southeast, which is where it looks like the ring might be ending. It could be pulling that way. But again, controlling information, controlling that beacon is also a very high priority. It's Taishin's team that's waiting on the other side of this choke point here. Now, they do have the opportunity to just go ahead and not try to push through this choke and go for the west side. But if they do decide to rotate to the west, there's going to be a lot of teams that they run into. That's just the natural geography of the map, along with what's going on with this ring right now. A lot of teams are going to be funneling there on the west-hand side.
Yeah, the building that you were referring to being that kind of four-story, right? Outside of Lava City, I feel like there's two major building compounds, right? That building that we see glance at and the position at which Wise Thug is sitting right now. And you're referring to the one he was looking at, not the one they're standing on, correct?
Yes.
And so that I agree with that positioning. I think is going to be ideal for them. But as we conveniently saw at that exact same time, it's already been taken. Wise Thug and friends are a little bit too late if they would like to make that their home. And there's a lot of open area between this area that they're defending and, in fact, where that's going to be. So it will be super interesting to see how they decide to make that rotation because they're getting pressured and they have the Geyser team. Right now they are sitting in between two very lethal groups.
Ah oui, oui, il est close. Il est là. Il est là.
The team actually gives that up? Gold armor coming out now. Okay, never mind. It looks like maybe they were just recovering something. I just saw a Wraith portal up there, and I didn't know why they would go for the Wraith portal. Taking a look at Hakis now. They're going to be at that choke point. Yeah, it's that same choke point that we saw North's team, or Taishin's team, right? They're going to go ahead and back away from this. Did some damage, but they don't want to full commit onto this, especially when they need to make a decision on how they want to rotate through this.
Yeah, and you can see how concerned they are, and the fact that he has 18 cells and was willing to use a battery to try and force that fight. Nice wingman shots here coming out from Storm was enough to get his first knock. They go through the portal. He's going to go and quick follow up. Grenade's going to be there. He gets the thirst. He gets out, but does anybody track him down?
Surgical precision coming out there.
What?
You knew exactly what he was doing. He's going to get that +1 and get out of there. As Hakis continues this push, though. Got to be careful now. Bake Easy dropping low. They got to buy time for that back to get off. Now they're just waiting on the port. Might throw down, of course, the nade of the thermite coming through. Doesn't get any damage across. Storming on the high ground here. Needs to buy some time. Make some space for Bake Easy, who goes down now. It's all up to Hakis here. And he's going to be able to clutch this out with that L-Star. They win out that fight. They get 3 points. That's going to be Taishin's team gone.
Man, that's a sentence you don't get to say too often. Clutched it out with the L-Star. A very big win there for them to be able to recover. We'll see if he ends up sticking with the L-Star as time goes on here. Not something that we've seen a lot of the teams ever really do, but this is a new version of the L-Star. It's also our first time to really see, once it's out of its legendary mode, does anybody think that it's worth the time to be able to deal with the close range threat that it very much can be? Very much sticking to that close range as well here for Hakis with the Peacekeeper. The biggest thing for me is this rotation outside of this. This fight was cool in all Jamerson, but we know the other side of this wall and dealing with the Lava City rotation, that's where all of this action really kind of matters.
Yeah, they've got two options, and only one of them looks really good to me. Pushing through that choke, not so much. Rotating from the west would be very important. Taking a look at Anytime and Winghaven. Surprising that they actually throw down and commit that bubble. I don't think they need to do that. That's a huge cooldown to actually be expending.
Yep.
But we'll see if any team actually tries to commit on that afterwards. But they might be safe up here. And I like this train track's position. You can walk it in. But the problem is, of course, you're still dealing with that building on the right and the building on the left. And we already know that snipers are in play here. So with that bubble down, it can be scary for them. It's a much longer cooldown than most people are used to when they're playing with their tactical abilities. Well, take a look. Stormin still on the hunt. He's picked up two himself. Got a third. That's the full team wipe for him. Alliance really, this team really racking up the points now.
Yeah, I'm super big fan of what they've done so far, but I guess for me, I'm constantly sitting here going, it's close, but you aren't quite there yet, right? And I think that's, again, because they're yet to find themselves outside of this geyser and onto where I feel like the real challenges are going to exist towards that southern end with the Lava City. They have to make that rotation in the next 1 minute and 30 seconds. And once they do that, then I think we're really going to see what comes to light. But I can't help but feel And tell me if you feel differently here. And L-Star Peacekeeper in that next fight, if you aren't winning those homes, you do not have any threat to what is going to be the next couple of fights.
I mean, as long as you have a Peacekeeper, but yeah, this next zone, you want something with a little bit more range, right?
Yeah.
L-Star, even though like it's an LMG, the range on it not the greatest here, and they're going to continue to try and push through this choke point. I thought because they took the fight to the west, they might
would
have
go west. Yeah.
They cleared some of their angles, but it is also kind of just like leaving yourself vulnerable. It's there isn't much cover to push through the road, and it looks like Hakas is going to be able to get through here with the TP, get his team to the south side of this building. They're going to be able to reset and then just walk in the rest of this. So they're able to successfully get through.
It's going to help when it comes to those close-range weapons, but also, yeah, the Peacekeeper sitting on the other side. That's a double knock onto them. Makes his way back through the portal. See if Storm is going to be able to defend this. Double Thermite goes down to try and stop. Resurrection comes through. No Phoenix. Portal taken. Thermite's going to get hit. The massive 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shots. It actually with 2, only had 19 there from Moraxe. But he makes it back here through that portal.
Yeah, you want a little bit more return on those Mastiff shots, but you know, they ultimately did get one. It looks like Yelena took matters into her own hands, actually pushed through, and so now it's just Stormin left, and he's taking that path.
I was going to say, you
Yes,
hate
they
to
should
see
have
it, man. You hate to see the man making the solo rotation and an avenue after what seems like, you know, kind of forcing an initiation and a rotation that maybe they didn't need to before. That being said, those death boxes that we just saw there very much could have indicated that it would have been struggled no matter what direction they ended up opting towards, but now Stormin doing his best. I will say, at least he's got a wingman to be able to deal with that kind of mid-range skirmishing he's going to have to deal with here. And the house you were talking about all along, who sits inside? Streamy.
Yeah, they've been here, I believe, since the beginning of the map, along with the Roxy. They were just behind them. They've got some death boxes inside also, and so their economy is looking pretty good right now. I mean, you'd like some more heavy ammo, but I feel like people are, of course, just going to default to the R99, and so not having that much heavy ammo isn't the worst for them. Yeah, they've got even some snipers to work with, and this is a building where you can just try and snipe people. We have 20 players left in this lobby. There's 4 players missing as there are 8 squads total here. And so it's coming down to the wire, and this next zone, I feel like only 3 teams are going to survive this. There really isn't much cover. You can play underneath the tracks, you can play on top of the tracks, and then any team that's not on either of those positions, they're going to be fighting it out there in the middle of nowhere. Oh wait, there's a huge rock. Okay, I forgot about this rock.
Look at this, sitting on top of that here is Sasanya. So maintaining what is like the rooftop version of our last roster. You see them already being concerned over that they're going to have to move on the next rotation with the circle closing in. They've got 30 seconds. Sanya's going to go ahead and start out with that portal. Make sure the team makes their way in. Ends up using the rift. Drop it on the backside here where there's no vision. Or will he commit?
I feel like he should just back off for now and wait to take that portal last minute. It's going to last for basically the duration of this ring closing. So they could just wait this out and try and do exactly that. Poke away from teams that are rotating right now, as they have full control over the top here.
Look at
Cheeky
that.
armor swap coming out.
They had prepped that earlier for anybody wondering, how did he know there was a convenient purple armor there?
Streamer loot.
Shoots into the gold there to Sanya. Now maybe a little bit more threatened knowing that the gold armor will be able to heal up on those wingman shots. Lands 3.
And this is just such a disgusting position for them to be in. So they have Exons on the high ground. You have Zanya on the low ground. Oh, Zanya might want to take that port back just to go for the heal. Instead, we'll wait back there, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. Wait for the stragglers, try and poke people as they're making the rotate, get those knocks, get those kill points. But instead, they're not going to be able to get much at all. And they've got the position for the late game, though. They're right behind this rock, and no one's contesting them right now. A lot of the fighting is actually taking place to the north of them now. Here comes the Gibraltar ultimate coming down. So we swap on over to any time here. It looks like they were able to win their fight and basically hold down this position on top of the train tracks.
Yeah, he just swapped over there, throws down the Gibraltar ultimate. Keep in mind that Tasania's and friends have a Watson generator there, so the Gibraltar threat is not going to be a problem. Somebody has to flank the backside of that and get rid of the generator for it to be impactful here. And they're on just resource management, as again, sitting from above, just preying on nearly everyone is the Luminosity squad.
3 squads left. It's Na'Vi there. Now Zanya did get hit, has to Q out of that arc, sir. Backs away, is going to be able to sell up, has the gold armor, so the downtime is going to be super low. Here comes the EMP, and he has to reload, so he can't clear the drone. Takes the damage, but the Gibraltar bubble was there for a split second, and now going to go ahead and push forward onto this fight. A lot of bodies back here. They've got the shield to work with. Yeah, it's Claws here. Now, can't really see anything. There's so much thermite in the way. It's going to be anytime taking out Neck right here. So now they're down to just the two of them. Still, though, they've got some time to work with. The shield hasn't gone down quite yet. They can try and recompose and come up with a game plan here, but I don't know. Going left, it's damned if you do or damned if you don't. So we'll see what they opt for. It looks like they're going to take the fight against LG. Have to back instantly away. It's going to be any time getting that kill onto them. And so unfortunately, LG, even though they've got the positions, they haven't been able to get these extra kill points, but they're already the kill leader or the point leaders in this game.
Yeah, this is the last team trying to move into Luminosity. 3 squads remain, now only got to be 2. All 3 members of Luminosity up, and it is easy cleanup coming out from them here. 4 games deep, Luminosity now claiming 3 for themselves.
They've won 75% of the games so far. It's a pretty good win rate, and these guys have definitely set themselves up to clean this one up in the minimum 5 games. And that one was that the most decisive victory from them yet? I feel like that was the shortest end game we've had of the 3 games they've won.
Definitely, positionally, that was one of the strongest games that they had. Like I said, when they were holding that building and holding the low ground at the same time, really trying to maximize their kill points, it looked really great for them, and they had the strongest position there. As for some reason, all the fighting took place on the west side. I thought it was going to possibly take place on the east side.
Yeah, and I think for me, game 1 and